time.
Come on.
As a matter of fact, there were more than minutes between the making of one and the other. God instructed the man, and then the man instructed the woman. That's Genesis chapter 1, 2, 3. God told the man about the garden, the tree, and so on. And then when Eve came on the scene, Adam told her what God had said. She was made from a bone of the man, and hence derived the image of God by the man's mediation. The man was made taller than the woman.
Come on, preacher.
The man, not the woman, named the animals.
Yes.
And the man also named the woman.
Woman.
When he saw her, he said, "She shall be called."
Yes.
Woman.
Woman.
Woman. That was her first name.
The fall of mankind occurred only after the man, not the woman, sinned. That's Romans chapter 5. By one man, sin entered the world. For the man was the head of human creation. The man and the woman, though equally important, equally dignified, equally loved by God, they are not biologically, physiologically, or even mentally the same. I mean, men don't have breasts, womb. Are you with me?
Yes. Come on. Yeah, man.
You with me?
Yes.
We shape different.
Yes.
True?
Yes.
Normal circumstances, right?
Yes.
Normal.
And we are wired, and we can't even explain it, but we are wired differently.
Yes.
You just tell me now, if a prone lizard should fall out of the ceiling, right smack in the middle here, which gender would find themselves outside first? And if you saw a man when that prone lizard dropped Elder James, and you see Brother Jacket here beside you going like this, ow, 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 you think something is wrong with him?
That's right, preacher.
He's a man.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes, sir.
But if you saw a woman doing that, I mean, we just laugh. I would say that's how the women are. Wired differently. We can't explain. Are you with me? But when God said He was going to make man, the Bible says, male and female created He.
Them.
And He was to make man in His own image. Of His own substance He would give man. And so everything we find in the woman, we find in God. Everything we find in the man, we find in God. He's the source. But guess what? When God dispensed the virtues, some were stronger in the woman. And those that were weak in the woman were stronger in the man. So that there was an interdependence created. And this is what creates balance in the home. Are you with me? And it's not about inferior or superior.
Correct. That is it.
Yes.
Correct.
That's the argument of the enemy.
Yes. Oh, yes.
As men and women, our roles are not identical, nor interchangeable, but different and complementary. Complementary with just ease, no I. Creating balance. We complement one another. Are you with me?
Yes.
So a woman is a woman and a man is a man. We are not in contest with each other. We need one another.
Amen.
In Adventist Home 2:12, hear what the Lord says. All members of the family center in the Father. He is the lawmaker, illustrating in His own manly bearing the sterner virtues. Does that make sense?
Yes.
The sterner virtues in the man, and the gentler virtues are where?
In the woman.
1 Peter 3:7 says, Likewise, ye husbands, that's a man, dwell with them
According to knowledge.
giving honor unto the wife
Yes.
as unto the weaker
Vessel.
vessel.
That's right.
So there's a difference between men and women. But notice now, and as being heirs together, they are joint heirs together where salvation is concerned. But men and women are different. So salvation is for whomsoever, male or female. This is why the Bible says they are neither male nor female, rich or poor, etc. When it comes to salvation, Jesus says all are welcome. But there's a difference. The same book, Adventist Home 231. Woman should fill the position. Is there a position for the woman?
Yes.
Which God originally designed for her. So God has designed a position for the woman to fill. And this position is as her husband's equal. Not his inferior, not his superior. As his what?
Equal.
His equal. Remember, she was taken from his side, not from his feet, for he was not the what? Trample upon her. Nor was she taken from his head, for she was not to do what? Rule over him. Are you still with me?
Yes.
She says now, and I want you to listen to me carefully. She says now, we may safely say that the distinctive duties of a woman, the what of a woman? Are more sacred, more holy than those of a man.
Wow.
The duties that God has given to women, the privilege they enjoy, the burdens that were not laid upon us men,
True.
have made their duties more sacred and more holy than that of a man.
What you saying, preacher?
Wow. Come on, preacher. God.
But you know what the enemy would have them do? Leave it and run down what the man doing. Not with me.
Come on. Yes, sir. With you.
Differences. Now, for our purposes within this specific context, these differences may be seen in the following. It was Adam, not Eve, who offered the first sacrifice. Eve stood by Adam and observed, came to understand what it meant. But Adam was the one who took the animal and killed it. For he was to be the priest of his household. Patriarchs and Prophets 68, to Adam the offering of the first sacrifice was a most painful ceremony. And I can just imagine. First time blood was shed. When God offered salvation from the flood, he invited everyone. Genesis chapter 6, verse 18. Notice what the Bible says. But with thee will I establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons, and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee. Salvation in the ark from the flood. But when God reestablishes the covenant he had with Adam, he does so with everyone through Noah and his sons. Are you with me? So if you read between that verse coming along, every time God talked about salvation from the flood, he said Noah and his sons, Noah's wife and the sons' wives. But when God is re-establishing the covenant, notice what he says now in Genesis 9:1. And God blessed Noah and his sons, and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. God addresses the covenant stipulations to Adam and his son.
No.
Though the blessings of the covenant would be upon all. Are you with me? So when it came to salvation, all, but when it came to the priestly administration of the covenant, Noah and his son.
Yes.
I'm not making it up.
Yes.
Now in patriarchal times, the men were the priests of the home. In Genesis chapter 18, verse 19, the Bible says, the Lord is speaking, I know Abraham, that he will command his children and his household. And by the way, his household numbered more than 1,000 souls. It's like a district. After him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord. The Lord says, I know Abraham. He will lead his household well. His household. In Patriarchs and Prophets, page 141. In early times, the father was the ruler and priest of his own family. By the way, these same words, ruler, his own household, they are repeated in the New Testament in a certain passage. Just stay with me. And he exercised authority over his children, even after they had families of their own. His descendants were taught to look up to him as their head in both religious and secular matters. This patriarchal system of government, Abraham endeavored to perpetuate, to cause to continue, as it tended to preserve the knowledge of God. But if you go on the internet right now, there's an all-out war against patriarchy. There are even songs that says, get rid of the patriarchy. It's time for feminism.
Mercy.
But the patriarch Abraham sought to keep going the government of the patriarchy because it more tended to preserve
God.
a knowledge of God. You think they never know the same thing?
Yes. True.
We're looking at patterns. Gideon's error. Now, Gideon had led the people of God to victory against the Midianites. And the people were so happy for the victory that they praised him. They flattered him. And they said, Gideon, you know what? We want you to be our king. I want you to notice how Gideon responded in Judges 8:23. They flattered him. They said, Gideon, we want you to be our king. And Gideon said unto them, I will not rule over you, neither shall my son rule over you. The Lord shall rule over you. In other words, I don't want to be king, and I don't want my sons to be king. God is our king. Let God do the ruling. Amen? Because it's a long time Israel want king, you know. But Gideon said, I will not be your king. Let God be your king. Where do you think the idea came from? For him to become the king? The devil suggested it to the minds of the people. And the people would have him become king. But then Gideon made a big blunder. Notice verse 27. And Gideon made an ephod. Now an ephod was a priestly garment. It was garment worn by the priests. So Gideon made an ephod and put it in the city, even in Ophrah. And all Israel went thither, a-whoring after it, which thing became a snare unto Gideon and to his house. So this was his big blunder. Notice what we find in the spirit of prophecy. Patriarchs and Prophets 5:5. Gideon was betrayed into another error, which brought disaster upon his house and upon all Israel. A spirit of unrest was upon him. Hitherto, he had been content to fulfill the directions given him from God. And when I read that, it reminded me of statements made about Lucifer in heaven. But now, instead of waiting for divine guidance, he began to plan for himself. Because he had been commanded to offer sacrifice upon the rock, where the angel appeared to him, Gideon concluded that he had been appointed to officiate as a priest. So an angel had visited and said, "Oh, you can offer a sacrifice." And when all of that experience was through, he said, "Wait, return priest now." And he went and made an ephod. And the people went a-whoring. Without waiting for divine sanction, he determined to provide a suitable place and to institute a system of worship similar to that carried on at the tabernacle. With the strong popular feeling in his favor, he found no difficulty in carrying out the plan. You know, when the people are with you, already doing wrong, it's much easier, am I right? Because the people are with you. Satan had led them astray, led him astray, and everybody was going astray. Gideon constructed an ephod and a breastplate in imitation of those worn by the priests. His course proved a snare to himself and his family, as well as to Israel. The unauthorized worship led many of the people finally to forsake the Lord altogether. When one person make a wrong move, you see what can happen? After Gideon's death, the man dead and gone. Great numbers, among whom were his own family, joined in the apostasy. The people were led away from God by the very man who had once overthrown their idolatry.
Wow. Mercy.
Bible says, put no confidence in man. He doesn't, even if it's pastor's God. Even if you have tremendous respect for the pastor, work with what God says. Because Satan can lead any one of us astray, give us bright ideas, and carry us off from the will of God. Are you with me? And by the way, notice you can't work with popular crowd. Numbers on your side. You have to go with thus saith the Lord. I want to introduce another for our consideration. The error of Saul. In 1 Samuel chapter 10. The verse is 8. 1 Samuel chapter 10. Samuel had instructed Saul. Samuel said to him, Thou, 1 Samuel 10:8, thou shalt go down before me to Gilgal, and behold, I will come down unto thee. This is the prophet and the priest speaking, to offer burnt offerings and to sacrifice sacrifices of peace offerings. 7 days shalt thou tarry, till I come to thee, and show thee what thou shalt do. Well, in chapter 13, we begin at verse 8. Notice what happened. And he, that is Saul, tarried 7 days, according to the set time that Samuel had appointed. But Samuel came not to Gilgal, and the people were scattered from him. They became discouraged. And instead of warming their hearts with words of encouragement, Saul said nothing. But here's what he did. He told them, Bring hither a burnt offering to me, and peace offerings. And he, the king, offered the burnt offerings. And it came to pass that as soon as he had made an end of offering the burnt offerings, behold, Samuel came. And Saul went out to meet him, that he might salute him. And Samuel said, What hast thou done? And Saul said, No, because I saw that the people were scattered from me. You know Saul already. And that thou camest not within days appointed. And that the Philistines were gathered themselves together at Michmash. Therefore said I, the Philistines will come down now upon me to Gilgal. And I have not made supplication unto the Lord. I forced myself, therefore, and offered a burnt offering. And Samuel said to Saul, Thou hast done foolishly. thou hast not kept the commandment of the Lord thy God, which he commanded thee. For now will the Lord have established thy kingdom upon Israel forever. But now thy kingdom shall not continue. The Lord hath sought him a man after his own heart. So I said the circumstances pressured me. So though I was clear in my mind what the Lord said, the situation had changed. And I felt I needed to, of necessity. As a matter of fact, I had convictions of what was right, but I forced myself
Mercy.
to do contrary to what the Lord would have me do.
Wow.
Patriarchs and Prophets 6:21. We do not know what great interest may be at stake in the proving of God. See, God proves us.
Yes.
There's no safety except in strict obedience to the word of God.
Amen.
What kind of obedience?
Straight.
All his promises are made upon condition of faith and obedience. And a failure to comply with the commands cuts off the fulfillment to us of the rich provisions of the scripture. We should not follow impulse, nor rely on the judgment of men. We should look to the revealed will of God and walk according to his definite command, no matter what circumstances may surround us. But if you think like Saul and you find yourself in a strait where you have nothing to eat and a piece of pork presents itself, you could decide to say, but God would want me to starve.
Mercy.
That's what the enemy would whisper in your ears. Are you with me?
Force yourself.
And is it God a forgiving God?
Yes.
Force yourself to eat it.
Strict obedience.
Mercy.
Amen.
God will take care of the results.
Yes.
Our burden is to do his will
Amen.
and leave the consequences with him.
Yes.
By faithfulness to his word, we may in time of trial prove before men and angels that the Lord can trust us in difficult places to carry out his will, honor his name, and bless his people. Let me ask you, can God trust you? In hard places?
Whoa.
Yes.
In our Bible commentary, page 1014, notice this. In detaining Samuel, it was the purpose of God that the heart of Saul should be revealed. So God was involved in the delay of Samuel coming to test Saul, that others might know what he would do in an emergency, because God already knew. It was a trying position in which to be placed. But Saul did not obey orders. He felt that it would make no difference who approached God. He was not a priest. It was not his burden to make sacrifices. But he said, look, I'm a king, champion, slayer of hundreds. Are you with me? So he felt that in his own right, he could go ahead.
Not ordained.
He felt it would not make no difference who approached God or in what way. And full of energy and the high man and self-complacency, he put himself forward in the sacred office. And this was a man.
Yes.
This was a king. Now what could he have done? Stay with me. Youth instructor. He could have offered humble prayer to God.
Yes.
In an emergency, what do we do?
Pray.
Not disobey. Pray.
Yes.
Pray, not disobey. He could have offered humble prayer to God without the sacrifice.
Yes.
For the Lord will accept even the silent petition of a burdened heart. When your burden is to do the will of God, He will make a way.
Amen. Amen.
Are you still with me?
Yes.
Now, there were 70 elders that served with Moses. This is Numbers 11, verse 16. Let me read it for you. Numbers 11, verse 16. We're looking at patterns. Numbers 11, verse 16. And the Lord said to Moses, gather unto me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom thou knowest to be the elders of the people, and officers over them, and bring them unto the tabernacle of the congregation, that they may stand there with thee. So 70 elders were chosen. Notice in Patriarchs and Prophets, the commentary we have, 374 is the page. God was the center of authority and government, the sovereign of Israel. Moses stood as their visible leader by God's appointment to administer the laws in his name. From the elders of the tribes, a council of 70 was afterward chosen to assist Moses in the general affairs of the nation. So 70 elders were chosen. Next, after Moses and the elders came the priests, who consulted the Lord in the sanctuary. And then I want you to notice now, chiefs or princes ruled over the tribes. And by the way, this is the same pattern we follow. Chiefs or princes ruled over the tribes. That's a division. Under these were captains of thousands, union, and then captains of hundreds, conference, and captains over 50s, district, and captains over 10s, local church, and lastly, officers who might be employed for special duties, the church board. The same pattern in the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And by the way, the same Lord who gave them that, when He came, as with the 12 patriarchs, He chose 12 disciples. And as 70 men were chosen with Moses, He sent out the 70. Do you see the same pattern reflected Old and New Testament? But on the heels of this, there was one who decided he wanted the priesthood. Numbers chapter 16. Let's read what took place. We can't read all of it, but you can read it in Patriarchs and Prophets. Numbers 16. Numbers 16. Are you there? Numbers 16. Let us read together. Now Korah, the son of Kohath, the son of, let me hear you, and Dathan, and the sons of, and the sons of, took men. Continue, verse 2. Amen. So here was Korah, and if you read the story, Dathan, and what the other person? Abiram. And their argument was, I don't know, maybe they sat down one day on a tree and said, these guys, Moses, the chief administrator, Aaron, these guys serving as priests and leaders. Why is only them? And so they came to Moses and said, look, all of us are holy. It's not you alone holy. All of us are holy. All of us are God's children. And so therefore, by this argument, they were saying that we too can lead and serve as priests at the sanctuary. Are you with me? But notice what inspiration says. Korah, the leading spirit in this movement, a cousin of Moses, was a man of ability and influence. He became dissatisfied with his position and aspired to the dignity of the priesthood. They were given a special responsibility, for they were Levites. Their responsibility was to take down and to repitch the tabernacle, to care for it while Israel traveled. But they weren't satisfied with that. It wasn't enough that they had a position in church and would carry out a ministry. They said, we want to turn priests too. And since in their minds, everybody holy, and eventually what happened? God opened the ground.
Swallow them up.
Swallowed Korah. Korah's wife. The whole family went down. And there was a little respite for the people to see that and say, you know that, maybe what we're doing not right. But no, not the people. They started to say, Moses, it's him. Troublemaker. Cause all of this. And God sent a plague and started to wipe them out by thousands. And you know that even after the plague wiped them out, when they realized they can't fight against God, they went to murmuring and grumbling. Because the spirit of rebellion was still in them. Are we going to be like that? Let us move over to the New Testament. Mark chapter 3.
You know, that's why I stood
Mark chapter 3, verse 14.
Is in the ark.
And he ordained 12 that they should be with him, and that he might send them forth to preach. Did Jesus practice ordination? Yes or no? Yes, he ordained the 12. But in this controversy, there are those who argue that ordination is coming from the Catholics. And so they say now, look, just forget the ordination. And so they introduce a new term, commission. Are you with me? And by commission, they hope to invest in the individual the very same privileges and responsibilities that ordination would give an individual.
Yes.
You use it in the head.